first virtual business meeting. It's going to be, my name is Hope, and I am the Director of Outreach and the Programs Coordinator for the Black Girls Power programs. And I'm going to be the moderator for today's business meeting. So this is super, super awesome. I just wanted to thank you guys all for joining and taking your time out of your day for this pertinent discussion. It's going to be focused on the strategies on overcoming the COVID-19 pandemic. So first I'm going to start off with a little bit about BCW. BCW, our mandate is to empower Black women to explore, invest, and exercise leadership in Canada and elsewhere. We want to be a hub of resources for Black Canadian women so that their positive contributions to Canadian society are acknowledged and promoted, and so that we can live and work up to our full potential. BCW currently has some programs that are running virtually because of obviously COVID. And we're so excited. We just launched a program called Black Girls Corner last Saturday, and we have our next workshop tomorrow, and those slots are filling up fast. So obviously there's a need there for that workshop, for that program. And the program is targeting young Black girls between the ages of 12 and 15 to allow them to gain exposure, social participation, and historical awareness of art and culture, which builds the city of Edmonton, and so that they can feel like they're a part of Edmonton's culture and society as well. All right. Additionally, we are taking the following measures to support our networks through this COVID pandemic. One, we've curated a bunch of online business courses for business professionals. Mostly we're gearing it obviously towards Black women, but anybody's allowed to join. And it's also for entrepreneurs as well. We'll be hosting business webinars such as this because it's helpful for our network to know what what support is out there for them during this pandemic. And also it helps to give them a sense of camaraderie. And also we can have virtual mixers as well so that they can still mingle and associate with each other despite the COVID pandemic. And then last but not least, we're also going to be gathering toiletries, diapers, and hygiene products and things of that nature. And we will be offering this for free to single moms and women that are in need. So we are super excited about all that. And we look forward to all that we have planned here at BCW. And we're so thrilled to have you guys on this discussion with us so you can learn a little bit more about some strategies and support mechanisms that you can receive despite the COVID-19 pandemic. So, since we have a lot of people here, without further ado, I'm going to introduce our, hopefully you guys can hear me? Okay. I'm going to introduce our speakers. The first speaker we have today is Samrawit Tamru, who is an account manager for BDC, and she will share with us some tools for small business owners so that they can navigate support from banks. Our second speaker is Dr. Wendy Cukier, professor, entrepreneur, and study Ted Rogers School Management, and she'll update us on the measures that can help small businesses to cope with the slow economy and the loss of revenue. And our last but not least speaker is Kim Ann Wilson, and she's the president of SASS, Support A Savvy Sistah, which is a marketing management company. And she will share with us the tactics and tips that you can have to implement during this time, just to keep on the forefront with your customer demands and also manage the COVID pandemic. Just a side note about Kim. Kim is also our director of marketing, and she works for BCW as director of marketing. So we're excited to have her present here for you guys today. So just a few housekeeping things. For everybody who's attended, please stay on mute. If you have any questions, please put them into the chat room. And after each presenter presents, we will read out your questions in order of receipt. If you do have further questions for that presenter, all the presenters have their contact information at the last slide of their presentation, so make sure you note it down. And always, if you aren't able to do that, feel free to reach out to info@bcw.ca bcwinaction.ca, and we will be able to give you their information if you missed that. So yeah, all right. So that is all for me. So I'm super excited. Samra, are you ready?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
All right, Samra, take it away and do your thing.
Okay, thank you, Hope. Thanks for the introduction. So I guess very simple introduction about myself. My name is Samra, and I work with Business Development Bank as an account manager, mainly with the Entrepreneurship Center, which means like we support small and medium-sized businesses. So my role is very exciting because I get to chat and work and support a lot of businesses in our community. So love the exposure, love the community. We've done a lot of good jobs, and now because of COVID-19, of course, things are not the same, but we are all trying our best to pull our resources together and to really address the situation and to collaborate with the communities. And an event like this one, like a virtual presentation or platform like this one, is very crucial, especially during this time. I can see how frustrating it would be not having any information and not even able to go and walk and ask the people that you used to rely on for information. So thank you so much, BCW, Team BCW, for preparing this event. And for all the participants as well, thank you for joining us. So today I am going to share a little bit about BDC, what we do, who we are as a bank. And then I will share some information about the resources and what BDC has been doing since the COVID-19 pandemic. And then at the end, there will be a PDF document that actually compiles all the supporters that are available for businesses from government and from provincial and federal government and from the other banks as well. I will share that with Hope, and maybe she can send it to you all guys at the end. Yeah, so if you have any question, I guess we can follow the Q&A or the chat side of it. And if time did not allow it, then if you guys have any question, feel free to email me or call me at any time, and I'll be very happy to assist. So again, thank you so much. And I hope you and everyone around you is doing great during this pandemic. All right, so I'm gonna go into my presentation, and I hope everybody can see this screen. So who we are as a bank or BDC, it stands for Business Development Bank of Canada. We help entrepreneurs around the country. There's over 123 branches. What we do is a little bit different than the other banks, and I will talk about it in the next 2 or 3 slides. But our main focus is on financing, on offering flexible financing and advisory services. So when it comes to the industries that we help, which is like mostly the questions that I get most of the time, is we actually support a lot of different industries. And these are like some of the examples, like if you have a business in manufacturing, retail, tourism, it could be in construction, e-commerce, non-e-commerce, like a lot of businesses can qualify for BDC services. I just added other on that slide just because there's like a lot more industries than which are listed in the screen. But the main focus and the one thing that stands out, especially given my segment is working with small businesses, is the startups. So BDC also supports startups, which means companies or businesses with zero revenue. If they are starting like today, and all you need to have is a very strong business plan and also a projection, how you will be like going out into the market, how are you gonna market your product, and all the initiatives that you may have for your business. So based on your projection and a very strong business plan, we can help entrepreneurs to start their own business. So that's like one thing that I think is unique for BDC as well. So when it comes to the financing service, what we do is, I guess I could say limited, because we're not really a typical bank. So the 3 major areas that we do our financing services are on commercial real estate, which means if you want to buy a commercial building or a condo bay for your business, we will go and support. I think the typical traditional term is mortgage. So we do a commercial real estate. And if you want to buy equipment for your business, again, we can do equipment financing. And the majority of the time, what we do is a working capital. So businesses have a lot of working capital need, starting from expansion to a new product or opening a new location or training employees or going into the digital transformation stage. There's a lot of stage that businesses need working capital. So we also come in and support during that time. Our advisory services are one of the things that makes us very unique in the marketplace because we do have a lot of advisory services that are listed here on the screen to support small businesses. And what makes it a little bit different is it is actually customized to your business. So we do give human resource management. Let's say if you have a lot of employees and your business grows so fast and you need to have like an HR guide or an employee training manual in place. So that kind of training could come with the human resource management. The sales and marketing would be like working on your marketing strategies, financial management. That will be like building a dashboard on how to track your receivables, your payables, all your financial related items with your business. And there's more. So I said before, like we are a little bit different than other banks. It is because in the market, the BDC's position is considered as a complementary position, and which means we actually work with the other financial institutions like hand in hand. So for example, at BDC, we don't have any deposits. So we don't have like business checking or business saving accounts. So those are like the services that you could potentially get with your financial institution. And then also at BDC, we like to work close with the financial institutions because we take a higher risk, and usually we share the risks with financial institutions. So for example, if I have a business and I need, say, want to buy an equipment plus working capital loan, to kind of expand my business, the financial institutions may go ahead and help you with like securing financing to buy the equipment. And then maybe adding a working capital on top of the equipment purchase might be a higher risk for them to take. So we collaborate on the loan structure. They will do the equipment financing, we'll do the working capital, which means at the end of the day, the entrepreneur will get the full project capital in order to buy the equipment and also to invest on the working capital portion of the business. So that's what we collaborate. And the things that we don't do include, so we are a bank for profit, so there's no interest-free loans and there's no grants. Our solo shareholder is the federal government of Canada, but we are a bank for profit. So most people have this question as well, that if we have some of the grant program being delivered through BDC, but we don't have any grants. So that's one thing really to highlight. And then we don't have any term deposit. The other, I guess I would say, very frequent question that we get is a line of credit. So most businesses, depending on the structure of their business and on their operation, they prefer to have a line of credit, which means they want the line of credit to be available whenever they need it. The difference between like a term loan and a line of credit is if it is a term loan, you get the fund and you have to start paying at least interest from the next month after you got like the loan. So it will be dispersed fully. And that is the kind of loan that BDC does. We do a term loan. If the project is approved and if the fund is ready, we disperse that fund, and then the businesses utilize it, and interest only payment or the full payment or the principal payment will start starting from the following months. But when it is a line of credit, you don't have to utilize the fund or start paying till you actually access the fund. So the advantage of line of credit is it's a very flexible product. Unfortunately, we don't offer that BDC. So this is where your financial institution comes in handy to support you for an ongoing working capital product. So we don't have that, at least for now. And then when it comes to commercial real estate, that's actually is strictly and 100% a commercial real estate. It doesn't include any residential property. The most common question I get would be, I want to buy a house, but it's going to be like an investment property, like more of like a rental property. So we don't actually support those ones. And the last one is bank accounts and credit cards. So we don't offer those products as well. So this is what makes us a little bit unique, and we like to be considered as a complementary lender in the market because we really value the partnership we have with the other financial institutions. And finally, a little bit about BDC part is we take a higher risk. Our repayment terms are very favorable and are also very flexible. The terms and conditions do not change without due causes once like we get all the loan structure in place. And the most important part is when we do our financing, we don't take personal asset for collateral or security. So if you have like, if you own a house, like your residential or rental properties, anything that's personal, we don't take as a security. So everything that we do will always be about the business, but we take personal guarantee. So personal guarantee and personal collateral assets are a little bit different. If anybody has a question around that, feel free to reach out after the presentation. I'll be very happy to explain it in detail. But it's very important to highlight that we don't take any of your assets or properties as a collateral, or we don't register our loans on that. So that's all I have about a little bit introduction about BDC, and I'll just go jump into the COVID-19 support. So BDC, we've been doing our own COVID-19 support, like in terms of like our existing clients. So the first thing that we did when we first had this pandemic hit our country, and then trying to address all the business needs, we did a postponement for all existing businesses. So from the participants here, if there's anyone who has a loan with BDC and still are paying principal and interest, feel free to reach out to your account manager and ask for a principal postponement, because right now we are working on a 6-month principal postponement schedule. So you can apply for that. It's a very easy process. Make sure to have your financial statement from the current year. I think that's the only thing that we're looking. Once we have an updated financial statement, then we can just apply that 6 months postponement, which means you don't have to pay the principal portion of your loan, but the interest payment will continue. So that's one of the things we did. And
Samra, sorry, just
yes?
a 5-minute.
I didn't hear you, sorry.
It's the 5-minute mark. You have 5 more minutes.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you. I'll get through this. Yeah. So for the working capital part, again, you can reach to your BDC account manager if you're an existing client. But if you're a new client, feel free to reach out to me. We are giving a working capital financing for COVID-19 related for the business net need, which means for anything that's fixed cost, we are working around that to cover a 6 months fixed cost for the businesses. And it has a flexible repayment terms, and you don't have to pay any application fee. The other one that's like given through your financial institution is a Canada Emergency Business Account. So the government, when they first launched it, the payroll amount that was dedicated to this business was $40,001 million, which is spent in 2019, but they adjusted it to 20,000 to include more businesses. So this is a program that you can reach through your financial institutions. And I think almost all of them has an online application that you can just go and apply. It is quite a quick process. I have heard a lot of good and fast response from most customers. So this would be one of the things that you can access through your financials. And the good thing about this loan is interest-free. And if you paid it by 2022, then you can get quarter of the loan. It can be excused, which means up to $10,000. There is a BDC co-lending program that was launched about a couple weeks ago. This co-lending program is actually accessible through your financial institutions. And what makes a difference is 80% of that loan is guaranteed by BDC. So we do the guarantee, but we are like more of like in the backside. So if you are looking for this program as well, you can reach to your financial institution. What makes it different from the previous program is this program is not limited for 40,000. So you can ask whatever is like important to cover your operating expense during this COVID-19 crisis. And then of course, there will be a lot of assessment to see what, like how much and what the fund is required for. But you can access this through BDC, through your financial institution. And also there is more that's also from EDC. So EDC and BDC are two of the crown corporations that the government is using to launch or to deploy those funds. So both companies, through their co-lending program and through the guarantee program of the loan, is accessible through your financial institution. So it is very, very crucial that you sit down, not sit down actually during this time, sorry, but you reach out to your business advisor from your financial institution to learn more about this program and to access the fund for your business. So this last page is like talking about how like the all different accesses or supports that are launched by the government. Canada.ca would be a very, very great website to access and to see all personal and business supports launched by the government. This is one of the PDF that I said I will share with Hope. So she will send it to you all. Other than that, if you go to the bdc.ca website, we do actually have a business planning tool for entrepreneurs to plan your business continuity program and how to get back to your business. And I think it's a very, very cool tool. It's free. You can access it through bdc.ca, and I can also send the link to Hope to share it with you guys. And for any questions at any time, this is my information, and you feel free to reach out via email or phone. I'll be very happy to answer all your questions or to help you access some of the funds that are deployed by BDC. Thank you.
Okay, I'm just gonna let everybody take a moment to take a screenshot of her contact. So then also to add to that, if you are not a subscriber for BCW, we please encourage you to subscribe. You can do so on our website, which is bcwinaction.ca. The reason is that's how I'll be able to forward the PowerPoints to you. We don't really have any questions. Do you have any questions? Do you want to just pop your questions in the chat, or? Well, all right. I guess, Samra, you're very comprehensive and you covered all the points. So I guess.
Hello.
You left everybody speechless. You did such a great job.
Thank you. Thank you. I think that someone is saying hello. Hello.
Yeah, Thomas. I have a question.
Okay.
Thank you for your presentation. My name again is Thomas Bumbe. I was invited to this meeting by Jean, and I want to say thank you for inviting me. My background is a real estate. I'm a real estate agent, and I was listening to some information about what this BDC can offer in terms of real estate or help for the businesses. So my question is, if a client is interested in, let's say, acquiring a sort of mixed-use structure, let's say someone want to use a daycare as an example, and daycare could be they have a downstairs to run it as a business and also live upstairs. Would that be something that BDC can offer help into?
Thanks, Thomas, for your question. So when it comes to like this kind of hybrid question, I think I would rather say it would be like a case-by-case base, because there might be a chance we can look at the whole structure and it is very important to know first the zoning of the property, right? Because we are like always back off when it comes to the residential areas because we don't support it. But if they're going to use like having a daycare to also buy their property to live in it, it will be very, very hard to support. In this kind of scenario, the best thing would be maybe to go to the financial institutions to cover the mortgage part of it, but then BDC can come in and support the working capital and the equipment part of it. But when it comes to the real estate part, those kind of hybrid questions or hybrid properties will be very difficult to approach because we have very, very much limitation in terms of like residential properties. But it is always case by case, and a conversation always uncovers a lot of opportunities. So if you have a client who's doing, who is proposing such kind of transaction, I will be very happy to have a meeting, like we can do an online meeting with you and your client. I would be more precise once I get the full information. I would like with question and answer to direct them to the right solution, or also to see what BDC can do. Okay. But the zoning is something to keep in mind. And one thing I forgot also, like that PDF that I'm about to send, if you have like a lot of clients in that real estate area, may not include the recent rent relief assistance program that was launched by the government, but that information is available on the canada.ca as well. So you can share that information with people if you have clients who are already like renting and operating on a leased premises. That might be something that you can share as well. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not sure whether you are hearing me. I had another question. I'm not sure whether there was another call coming in, so I thought I was interrupted. I'm not sure whether you got my second question.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear the second question.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have tons of calls coming on my phone. My question is that I had a situation with a client in the past that were looking to, they had a very good business plan, they have some capital, but then the landlord could not give them the facility because of their history in business. They have not been in the business for long. They were looking for a store, mini store to rent. And the landlord was asking for like $25,000 down payment for like 6 months of payment. And that's where we had a problem. We couldn't get the financing to finance them for that guarantee for a landlord to take that. So if you have such a client, would they be, I mean, and if they are working with the BDC, would that be an option for them in that case for a specific renter of a facility?
So is the landlord like, is it for a commercial premises or like, commercial, is it?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. So like rentals, marketing, purchasing equipment, or any startup fund, we can support the business if they have their business plan. So if they have like a financial statement, like from the last 2 years or any year that to support their business, good, right? Because we call those like a development stage businesses, but we do support startups. So if they have a very good business plan, we can review their business plan, and we can definitely work with them to structure and to get them what they need to start their business off their feet. We also support home-based businesses. Like if you have a business that they run it off of their garage or something like that, like this is a typical way how startups start most of their businesses.
Right.
Even though they are operating on their residential premises, as long as we can justify the business is not like at risk of putting the community or anything like that, we can assess their business plan, and we'll be able to help with working capital for sure, or equipment loan for that sake.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
We just have one more question from Jackie. Let me read it to you.
Okay.
So Jackie's asking is, if someone is contracted to a company and the company has closed its doors, which of these benefits would you recommend that she apply for?
So if you're contracted and if you are like hired, like say people in the last year to do the job, then you can still access the $40,000 business loan through the your financial institution. But BDC also can support, because one of the things is, like I said, is sometimes you do have projects that you have started, but then the people who own, or the company who owns the project has suspended the project, right? So when they suspend it, you will have You might have like debt repayments, you might need to pay some of your fixed costs. So we can definitely take a look at that, and then we can support you to, I think, based on your fixed costs that you may have till the project resume. So you can reach out to me as well, and we can definitely have the conversation.
Right, so yeah, so Jackie, make sure you take a screenshot of her contact information. That up. All right, so thank you once again, Samra. That was just phenomenal. You're a wealth of knowledge, and we appreciate that. I'm clapping on behalf of everybody. Okay, so thanks. So now we are going to move to our second speaker, Dr. Wendy Cukier. Are you here? Megan, are you here?
I am. Sorry, it looks like Wendy's not on the line yet. She messaged that she's running a bit late for an appointment and asked if I could step in to get us started just in case.
Thank you, Samra.
So go ahead, Jan.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Wendy's not here yet, right?
No, but I have the presentation and I'd be happy to get started in order to keep us on time.
Yeah, we should probably get started.
Okay, that would be
Yeah,
great.
Megan. This is Megan on behalf of Dr. Wendy Cukier. Take it away, Megan.
Yes. Okay, thanks. Oh, Samra, can you let me share the screen of a deck to share with the group?
So I think you can share, right?
Yeah, so you just, if
it won't
the button.
I did stop share. It doesn't stop? It should be stop
there we
share? Okay, good.
Okay, here we go. There we go. Okay, can everybody see that all right?
Yep, we can see it. It's good.
Just checking. Thank you. Sorry about this.
Okay.
And also on the line, we have Nicholas Renzetti from my team, who has done a great deal of the work in preparing these materials. And we'll interject if I miss anything. So, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I apologize that Wendy is running a bit behind. I will do my best to do justice to this material. So I am the Associate Director of Partnership Development and Stewardship at the Diversity Institute at Ryerson. And one of the big projects that I'm working on is the Women Entrepreneurship Knowledge Hub, or WEC, as we like to call it, because it's a bit of a mouthful. So the WEC is a national network of organizations serving women entrepreneurs. We have 10 regional hubs located all across the country, including one at Mount Royal University in Calgary, as well as a network of, I think we're close to 200 partner organizations across the country that we're working with who support women entrepreneurs and in various capacities. So under normal circumstances, the WEC is doing research, holding events, things like that related to women entrepreneurship. But since the pandemic has hit and seeing the very immediate impact that was having on women entrepreneurs across Canada, we shifted focus pretty quickly to gathering information about what was needed in the ecosystem, and then back to sharing information about the supports that are available. So we put together a set of materials that we'll run through now about the federal supports that are available to entrepreneurs and women entrepreneurs in Canada during the pandemic.
Megan, I'm here, but I don't have the presentation, so maybe you can advance the slides.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be wonderful, Wendy. Perfect.
Apologies to everyone. I had a doctor's appointment and it just ran way too late. So very pleased to be here. So yeah, as Megan said, we'll talk a little bit about the differentiated impacts of COVID on the Black community based on some of the information that we've been able to gather, and then talk through the programs that have been developed. Next, please. So I think the first thing that is worth saying is, and we found this with our research on women entrepreneurs as well, we know that in general, Black entrepreneurs tend to have businesses in the services sector. The services sector is the most heavily affected across sectors. We know that Black businesses tend not to be as represented in the high-tech sector. So when government puts a lot of money into programs supporting the tech sector, they're typically not supporting businesses led by women or businesses led by Black entrepreneurs. We also know that businesses led by women and businesses led by Black entrepreneurs are as often self-employed enterprises as a result of self-employment as they are incorporated small, medium enterprises with employees. A lot of the programs were designed for small, medium enterprises with employees, not for self-employed professionals who might subcontract, for example, to other consultants or whatever. So one of the things that we've spent some time looking at are some of the structural issues that might exclude some people and benefit others more. And if any of you are interested in some of that analysis, we can provide that as well. I guess the first thing that is relevant for some people is, of course, what's happened with unemployment insurance or employment insurance. And one of the things that's happened, and this could be relevant for your employees, for example, is the merging effectively of employment insurance with the Canada Emergency Response benefit. The two cannot be collected at the same time, and it's important to emphasize this because while employment insurance is a process you apply for, and there's a fairly high level of scrutiny and assessment in advance. With the new CERB benefit, the assumption is if you apply, you're eligible. If it's found after the fact that you're not eligible, or you've been collecting CERB and employment insurance, you will be liable for the difference. And I emphasize that because some people have taken the approach that they'll try and they'll see. There are some risks associated with doing that, either with this particular benefit or some of the others. Next slide, please. So the Canada Emergency Response benefit is something that's having, I think, a big effect. We've seen millions of Canadians already applied for this. And the government has done, in my view, quite a remarkable job of launching programs quickly, getting money into people's pockets, and then making slight changes if they find that there are people left behind. So one of the examples of that is the Canadian Emergency Response benefit. You have to show that you have income of at least $5,000 in 2019 or in the 12 months prior to your application. And this employment income could be working as an employee, or it could be self-employment income. It could be fees or charges that you have made to your clients, for example. And one of the changes that they introduced, which I think is a really good one, is in addition to getting the $2,000 for every 4 weeks. So it's $500 a week and you have to reapply every 4 weeks. You can earn up to $1,000 in addition. And so for a lot of startups, for a lot of people who are self-employed, being able to continue your business and to earn some income is really important. Next slide, please. And so it's a pretty easy process to apply for. We can provide all of this material in a handout for people who may want it. What we're really hoping is that this presentation will not only help people on the call, but those of you who work in organizations that serve others, you'll be able to share this with them. Next slide, please. And it's developed in periods. Megan, you're on your phone rather than your computer? Here are a few of the frequently asked questions. So this is another one of those things where people collecting the CERB are expected to take responsibility for things that you don't have to take responsibility for if you're collecting employment insurance. So for example, while taxes are deducted at source for employment insurance, they're not for CERB. So people who are collecting CERB have to be prepared to hold back a portion of it in order to pay their taxes. And as I said, one of the really useful pivots that the government made was to add that you can earn up to $1,000 a month as well on top of this particular benefit. Any questions at this stage about these particular benefits and how they might apply to you or your employees?
I have a question.
Sure.
So my name is Alette, and I'm running a business that is just at the starting level, but I also work full time. So I've been kind of not sure what to do here because I'm still getting my full-time income. But however, on my business side, because of the COVID, things have changed and I do retail and I cannot go to events to sell. So I have less income from there. So what
do you have employees?
No, I'm the only employee right now.
You're probably then, sorry, I have a crazy cat. You're one of the people then I think that is not going to be able to tap into these particular programs. But I will in a few moments talk about some of the loans that are available, and some of those might potentially be beneficial. The key thing with the CERB is you can't have earned more than $5,000 so over the last 12 months. So presumably from your full-time job, you are earning more than $5,000. So that would mean you would not be eligible for this particular benefit. But there are others I'll talk about that may be relevant. Any other questions? Alith, were you going to ask a question?
I'm done. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks.
I have a question.
Sure.
Are any of these programs open for not-for-profit organizations?
Yes, but the first ones that I talked about, I don't know why we're on the emergency student benefit, Megan. Sorry, if you worked for a nonprofit, or if you have a nonprofit and you have employees, the CERB applies. So it doesn't matter if you're for-profit, nonprofit. The key is, did you personally, these are for individuals, did you personally earn more than $5,000 in the last 12 months? If you did, whether that was income from self-employment, employment, or whatever, then you're not eligible for these particular programs. But if somebody worked for a nonprofit and they had less than $5,000 in income, they would be eligible. Does that answer the question? Some of the other programs that are available for organizations, remember these are programs for individuals. The programs available for organizations apply to nonprofits as well as for-profit organizations in some cases. And
okay,
I apologize. Sorry.
Also, just a follow-up, which has probably nothing to do with that question. The government had allowed us to apply for the program to hire students in the summer. Do you cover any part of that as to when are those programs going to be launched, etc.?
Absolutely. And let's go to the next slide, Megan, please.
Okay.
I have a question, sorry.
Okay.
Can you go back to the SEB for
Okay.
employees? Yeah. So my question is about the self-employed. Can she go back to the slide of because she came on the slide of Canadian images for student benefit. I want her to go back to that slide where we were. Okay, thank you. So my question is about the SEB, especially for those earning 1,000. So you said yes, as long as they do not earn 1,000 per month. So I was confused. I thought that was as long as they do not earn more than 1,000.
So sorry if it wasn't clear. So to be eligible for this, you had to earn at least $5,000 in the last 12 months from employment or self-employment. If you qualify for the CERB, you get $2,000 a month, but on top of that, you can earn another $1,000. Does that help? Is that clear? I'm happy to take, if people want, Megan can provide my email address, and if people want a one-on-one or a email exchange after this, I'm very happy to help. I will have to jump off the call in 15 minutes though, because I have a student exam that starts so I wonder if we can you can enter some of the questions in chat or you can email me directly, and I'm happy to follow up with a quick call to try to clarify anything that might apply to your individual circumstances. Would that be helpful?
Yeah.
And same thing with Eugene. If we don't get through enough information about the student supports, I'm happy to talk to you one-on-one. Okay.
Okay.
So next slide, please. So this is the emergency student benefit. This is a program that I think could be of interest to nonprofits, because students are eligible if for $5,000. I don't know why you're up to $5,000 towards their tuition if they perform service during the crisis. And we can talk more about what that consists of, but basically it's aimed at providing income for students that they can then use towards their studies, but they have to show that they are going to provide. There's one grant that just they get regardless, and the other, the Canada Student Service Grant, is a $5,000 grant they'll get if they work for a nonprofit or a voluntary organization. So Jean, in your case, that might be a way of you getting access to students. Next slide, please. So here's, there's a whole series of loans, business credit availability that are being guaranteed by the banks. And I know you had someone from BDC speaking, And everyone is encouraged to go to your local bank to help navigate some of the loan programs. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. I'm just going to skip over the loans because they're quite straightforward. Next, and go to this one. This, I think, is of interest to a lot of small back. Can you go back, please? Megan. Thank you. The Canada Emergency Business Account, I think, is of interest potentially to small businesses and nonprofits to help them cover their operating expenses. So, Jean, depending on the nature of your nonprofit, this might be eligible. So to qualify, you have to, as an organization, have paid at least $20,000 in salaries to staff, okay? So this can't be money you've paid to subcontractors or consultants or others. This has to be money that you have paid to people on payroll. But if you have paid $20,000 in payroll in 2019, you are eligible for a $40,000 small business loan. And what is important to note about this is $10,000 of the $40,000 is actually a grant, okay? Provided you repay the loan by December 31st, 2022. So the way that I look at this, I unfortunately have a small business, but I hire subcontractors. I don't have people on staff. But if you do have a small business or a nonprofit where you've paid between over $20,000 in salaries, the way I look at this is you get a $10,000 grant and then you have a $30,000 loan. And as long as you repay the loan, you keep the grant. So this is one of the best programs, in my view, that the government has launched for real early stage startup organizations and nonprofits, and it gets processed very, very quickly. Any questions about this? Because I think this is a really important program, perhaps for some of the businesses on the phone. Any questions?
We have one question in the chat room. Let me read it. It's from Funke.
Sure.
So she's asking, what is the eligibility criteria for an extra $1,000 on top of the $2,000 monthly CERB?
There's no okay, I'll explain that again. So the CERB, you get $2,000 from the government. Okay, you get $2,000. Normally with unemployment insurance, you're limited in your ability to earn additional funding, right? With the CERB, you can earn another $1,000. So if you have a business, you can earn $1,000 at that business. If you work in an office, you can earn $1,000 in that office. So the idea is it's trying to make sure that people who have opportunities to work, even part-time, will continue to work and they can keep the money from that additional work at the same time that they keep the government benefit. Is that clearer? Does that make sense to everyone?
Okay, did that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, next slide, please. The Canadian Emergency Wage Subsidy is, again, probably aimed at a lot of the larger companies that have employees. And they have to be employees who receive, T4 slips and for whom you pay benefits and employment insurance and so on. But this wage subsidy is for businesses and nonprofits, again, who can show that they lost revenue, Okay, so if you can show that you lost revenue over the course of the last year. So if you compare April or May last year to April or May this year, and you have 30% less revenue in your business or your nonprofit, or if you can show that you've lost 15% of your revenues since March, as a result of COVID, you qualify for a 75% wage subsidy up to $58,000 a year. So what this means is if you can prove that you lost money in your business, you can qualify for 75% of the wages of your employees if you rehire them, retain them, or otherwise keep them employed. And I think it was just announced today that it may last longer than June 6th. The point here is that the government wants businesses to retain their employees, so they're actually prepared to pay 75% of the wages. Any questions about that one? Okay. Next one, Megan, please. We're going to have to move quite quickly through the next few. Keep going, please. Keep going. Keep going. This is just all information about the application process. Keep going. Keep going. So the student workplace, sorry, go back one, please. The student workplace program changes. This is a very important program. Here you can get subsidies for up to 70% of $10,000 to pay students. So if you want to hire a student for the summer and it's going to cost $10,000, you can get $7,000 towards the $10,000. If the student is a woman in tech, a racialized person, an Indigenous student, or a person with a disability, or you can get $5,000 if they're any other population. We're using this program very extensively because it solves two problems. It gives us help and it creates jobs for students. Any questions about this one?
That's the program that I applied for, Wendy, but I'll email you and talk to you about it.
Okay.
After, okay? Because
sure.
I submitted my application as of February, which was the deadline. And I have been in communication with them.
Oh,
I also have a number, huh?
That's a different program.
Oh.
Next slide, Megan. Next slide. No, I don't know, the slides are out of order. Next slide. This one, you applied for this. And Jean, I can help you with this. You really have to contact your local member of parliament. They're the gatekeepers on the Canada Summer Jobs Program. Do you know your member of parliament?
I did contact him. So he has my, you know the number they give you when you fill out that, so it's in the system.
No, but did you contact your member of parliament?
Yes, I did.
Who is it?
It is Riverbend, what's his name again?
Anyway, we can talk about this because technically it's closed, but there is funding.
Yeah, we can talk about it because what is his name again? Let me see if I can find his email.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Yeah.
Can we have the next slide, please? So there are lots of, the point I think to those of you on the phone is there are a number of different programs that would allow you to hire students either at a fraction of the cost or in some instances to get them for free, depending on the nature of your business. So I'm very happy to talk to anybody about those those issues if that would be helpful. The Canadian Emergency...
1 minute. Wendy, he's Mark Generou. He's my MLA.
Okay.
Liberal.
No, it's federal.
Yeah, I know it's federal. Mark Generou. That's my MLA.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I have contacted him and sent in the response I got, which is the number that they gave me.
Okay.
But we're supposed to hear about it anytime now, and we haven't heard anything about it.
Okay. Well, that's something I'm happy to make sure that we've got the right information.
Okay.
About. Happy to talk. Remember, I don't work for the government. We're just trying to help facilitate. So we can't make promises, but we'll do what we can.
Yeah, last year I got three students. So.
Okay. So the next one is the Canadian Emergency Rent Assistance Program. And this is for commercial property owners. Now, this is in cooperation with the provincial governments. And so some of these programs they differ from province to province. But for those of you who are renting commercial space, this could be incredibly helpful to reduce your costs. Essentially, the owner gets the money, you don't. Right? So the property owner reduces your rent, and then they get the subsidy. But your property owner may not know about this program, so you could go to them and say, I need my rent reduced, and help navigate the subsidy. Okay? Questions?
Yes, I have a question.
This is the 2-minute mark. Hello, Wendy?
Yes.
This is the 2-minute mark for your presentation, just an FYI.
Yes,
we're almost done. I think Bannock had another question.
Yeah, so I wanted to make sure so that this program is not yet open, right? So what you're trying to say is when you, if you are renting in a commercial place, I'm a business owner, right? So I will have to go to see my landlord, and you will have to reduce. That's what you mean? Okay.
Yeah, your landlord reduces your rent, and then they get reimbursed by the government.
Okay.
Okay.
But the program is already open? Not yet, right?
I think it depends on the province. In BC, it is. I don't know about all the other provinces yet.
Okay, thank you.
Next slide, please.
Can I just ask a quick question?
Sure.
Sorry, I'm just joining the meeting late. My name is Shara Waji, and I have a question regarding this program. I have a client who's a Black business owner, and she manages properties. Her properties are rental properties, so she has multifamily rental properties. And I was wondering if this type of a program or any program that you're aware of applies to somebody like her who acquired these properties or runs these properties, and people are now not able to pay their rent. So
no, this is for commercial properties. So if your friend rented to businesses, it might doesn't apply to landlords, tenants. I have to run, so can I have the next slide? It may be the last one, I think. Next slide, next slide. I don't know that there are any Indigenous people on the phone, but there's special programs developed for them. And we also have some flow charts that will help people understand how to navigate the programs. Next slide, please. And next slide. Next slide. Let's just go to the end, Megan. And we've identified some use cases that will explain what the situations are for individuals. So I apologize profusely. This was just a day that went in a very different direction than I expected. And so I do have to jump off and take another call, but I'm very happy to try to help any of you individually navigate, and we will definitely provide all of the materials. And Megan and Nicholas will stay on the line. They can collect up additional questions and information. I do apologize, but I have to go. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Wendy. We appreciate your time. Round of applause. Thanks so much. Yeah, so guys, that's Dr. Wendy Cukier. We thank her for her time. Yes, and if you have any questions, for sure put them in the chat room, and Nick and Megan will take care of that for us. So we're gonna book.
Yeah, but Wendy, sorry, Hope. They're asking if they can have the presentation, if this presentation can be sent to the participant. Okay.
Yes, everyone can have the presentations, and you can have my email and anything else that's helpful. Okay.
Okay.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yay. All right, guys. So we think all our first two speakers did an amazing job. Now we're going to go talk about some important marketing strategies that you can, and tips and tricks that you can use during this COVID time. And yes, this is Kim Ann, who is representing Support A Savvy Sistah, and she's going to share those with you. So Kim, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Kim, take it away.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining today. I won't waste any time talking about myself or anything like that. We're going to dive right into marketing tips that you can use during this time, so that once we're out of this pandemic and things are back to normal, you can start making leaps and bounds ahead of your competition or anyone out there. So I'm just going to dive right in. The first thing we're going to do, I am going to share with you 3 tips. So that's the only thing I'm going to share today is 3 tips you can use, and you can start using that right now. Previously, regarding the past 2 presentations, these are information and resources available to you from outside, right? However, with these marketing tips I'm about to share with you, these are things you can start using today. These are things you can start implementing today to help your business and yourself get ahead. So we're going to talk about going digital, revisiting your vision, and how to get friendly. It is marketing at the end of the day. You've got to be friendly and approachable. So going digital, the first thing I'm going to speak about is exploring online sales. Alith, I remember during one of the presentations, you were talking about not being able to go out and sell. So this is something you may be interested in thinking about or considering, is exploring online sales. Going digital and attracting potential buyers for when you're out of the pandemic, engaging with your current customers, and publishing video content. So in terms of online sales, there are multiple platforms out there that's available to you to facilitate you selling your products or services online. Now, there are a vast amount of platforms, so you'd have to do your research in looking into which one is the best and ideal for you. And price-wise, there are a lot that's free, and obviously some of them cost money as well. And during this time, you're probably looking for free platforms you can go on to facilitate sales. So example, Shopify, if you're creating a product, you've created with your hands, you have something to take a picture of and show, those are really good platforms to use. If it's a service that you provide, then setting up a website would be good, or setting up a online portfolio would be good as well. So those are things you can look into. I won't be long. My presentation is 10 minutes because I'm being mindful of time and your guys' time. So those are some things you can look into. Attracting potential buyers is key, especially in this time. There's a note there taken from marketing statistics as of the end of last month, is that e-commerce sales are up 37% in just 1 month compared to the beginning of the year, which was from January 1st to March 1st. Between March and April, sales online has risen 37%. So if you are not online with your products and your services for sales, you definitely want to rethink that right now and think of strategies and platforms you want to utilize to do that. So Attracting your potential buyers. Obviously, we're going to talk about social media. At the end of the day, we're talking digital, and this is where your customers are. This is where most people are during this time because we can't go outside. There's no socializing that way. So social media is the way to go. So you need to sit down as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, to figure out where your customers are, what platforms your customers are using right now, and figure out and create a strategy on how you're gonna go there to meet them. So that's something maybe Elite you can think about. Since you can't physically go out to sell, you can think about where your customers are on the social media aspect and put your products out that way. Share your knowledge in terms of the industry that you're in. If you're in fashion, share your fashion knowledge, share your fashion expertise. And then that's another way you can attract your potential buyers as well. And start building those connections to show your personality. So that's really good in attracting your buyers. When you're on social media, people are attracted to a person's personality, not necessarily a product itself. So you need to be digitalized in showcasing your knowledge, showcasing your expertise, showcasing your personality and your brand. And there is statistics that shows that on average, a person or potential customer needs 18 touch points before making a decision to purchase. So think about that for a minute. They need 18 different touch points from you, the seller, before they make a decision to buy. So in terms of social media and how you showcase your products or service, this is a really good thing to remember, that you need to be showing them what you're doing, show them your products, show them your services, how it benefits them, so that when they're ready to purchase, they know who to come back to. So that leads me on to the fourth point under digital, is making video content. And this is critical now, as video content in and of itself is increasingly more and more being something that people are looking forward to, and they look out for more compared to text or a picture. So in terms of you as an entrepreneur creating your products or showcasing your services, you can create videos. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be well edited and marketed. It doesn't have to be with a really good marketing backdrop and all. That's a lot of noise. All you need to do is showcase your knowledge, showcase the product, showcase your expertise and your personality in your video. A quick 1 minute, 2 minute video highlighting the benefits is good enough. And for someone who's more on the service part of the business, showcase or deliver and produce educational content. So quick tips or things that can give information, good resources, you can push these out as educational content in video style. And this will help drive your traffic and help you in the long run. So these are things you need to be doing consistently and continually to help drive your business forward, especially during this time. And here's a good word of inspiration for everyone. People don't buy what you're selling. They buy the story behind it. I don't know what's making that noise. They buy the story behind it. So your brand is the stories that people will tell about you. So they're not looking to buy a product. So stop pushing products, stop pushing product sales. Tell why. Why did you create this product? Why did you start delivering the service? And you'll find that that will resonate more with people rather than just this one item that you're trying to push out and sell to others. So the next point was revisit the vision. Originally, when you started your business, you had an idea, you had a goal, you know what you were doing in your mind. For those of you who have not created a business plan, take this time to put thought into what it is you want to achieve with your business. So if you haven't created your business plan, take that time to do that. If you do have a business plan, that is awesome. Maybe this is a time for you to revisit that business plan, see where you've gone off track, see what opportunities you may have missed when you originally started that business plan. And this is a perfect time to even pivot a little bit, especially with what's going on. Take the time to listen to your target market during this time and seek out opportunities that can steer your direction in the products and services that you provide and offer. This is a perfect time as well to look at the product offerings that you have, the services that you're providing. Take a time to look at that to see if it's actually meeting the needs of your audience. Take the time out to do research. So research marketing, I've listed 2 resources that you can connect with that can help with market research. So the business link is a really good one. This is free. This is a free tool that you can tap into, and they would help you with the research, market research, especially during this time. You need to know what your audience or your potential customers are thinking, what they're feeling, what their buying decisions are in this time. So that's a really good tool to use, as well as Futurepreneur. So if you haven't created your business plan, you can check out Futurepreneur for really good templates for a business plan, and they can even help you navigate the different areas within the business plan and how to structure that. So this is a really good time to take the moment to be intentional in your business. They say if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail, right? So this is a really good time to take a breather, revisit what your plan is for your business, and make that plan to move forward. There you go. And last but not least, get friendly. So during this time, people are more open to online introductions and online networking because we can't go out physically and do that. So in this time, definitely have fun with it. It's about building connection, and it's about being seen, so that once this pandemic is over, you'll be the first business in mind for customers to connect with. So during this time, think about building your email marketing list. There's tools like MailChimp that is completely free that you can use to build your contact list. It's basically a database of email contacts that you can use as potential customers, as current customers, and as your network. So you can market to these people at any given point, give them updates about your products and services. You can let them know of any promotions that you have offering, sales, new products, that kind of thing. I'm sure you've all been subscribed to a type of email marketing list before, and the type of content that you get with that. So start building that so that once you're ready to go, you already have a list of potential customers you can reach out to with a new product line, with a new offer that you have, that kind of thing. So that's good. This is a good time as well to think about partnering opportunities. So for example, someone who's in fashion again, you can think about someone who is a blogger. This is a really good time to maybe reach out with them and see what kind of opportunities you two can create together. And you really want to make sure that in everything you do, you are being seen digitally. So if you need to connect with that blogger and then have your content on their page or have them share your content, that's really good, because that will increase your reach and the amount of audience, the amount of eyes your products and services is in front of. So bear that in mind and look out and be open to opportunities, regardless of where it comes from and who it may be with. Offer promotions during this time. So one good thing that I see restaurants are doing right now is that they're putting together kits. Example, Mother's Day is coming up on Sunday. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers in the room, by the way. But they're putting together kits for you to share with the mother, yourself and someone else over Mother's Day. They build a kit and they get it delivered to you or curbside pickup. So you can offer promotions during this time. So example, if you're a hairstylist, you know, you can offer a hair care kit, right? If you're naturalists and you have handmade products, you can put together a kit and create that and have it delivered or drop it off, curbside pickup, that kind of thing, contactless.
Sorry, it's just your 2-minute warning.
Thank you. So that kind of thing. Contests as well. Think about running contests. This will build your engagement with your current customers. Offer question and answer period. right? Example, if your product is complex, if your services that you offer is a little bit intricate, offer question and answer period. This will give you a time to engage with your audience, and potential customers will know a little bit more about the products you're offering, the services that you're offering, and you can create that community. This is a time too that you can even join or be a part of other communities. So check for, LinkedIn is a great area to look for groups, or even Facebooks. There's a lot of communities that you can join, and this will give you an opportunity to share your experience and your knowledge, so that people who are looking will see that, you know what, this person knows what they're talking about. I want to follow them. And that's a touch point within that 18 touch points that you need to make, right? So every time you can put out your knowledge, do that and make sure it's being seen. So that is what I have for you guys. My 2 minutes is up. So have fun with it, build your connections, be seen, grow your community, and look out for these different tools that you can use that can help drive your business forward at this time. So I guess this is question time. And here's my contact details if you need to reach out.
People, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, everybody wanted your email. Let me see if there's anything else. Okay, yeah, so there's no questions. Everybody mostly just wanted your email. So it's on the last slide. So everybody just take a moment to screenshot it, and then you'll have support A Savvy Sistah contact info.
Yeah.
Wow, so what an incredible...
One question.
Oh, yes, sure, go for it.
Kim, do you do presentations to smaller organizations? Like, your presentation was quite good. I'm thinking of, if I were to hire somebody who I'm interested in doing marketing for my organization, would you be able to do this presentation again so that the person can go through, get a quick Coles Notes version of how to go out and do marketing, even though that person might be in marketing already?
Yeah, sure, Jean. That's no problem. I definitely do that. So you can definitely reach out to me, and we can connect on that one for sure.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, I guess if that's all, then Hope, I'll hand it over back to you.
Okay, guys, that was an incredible first virtual business meeting. We hope you guys enjoyed that. We're going to continue doing these. We also have one coming up surrounding mental health, and we already have our presenters slotted for that. So be on the lookout for the next virtual business meeting. And also feel free to contact us if you want more information about our programs. What was I gonna say? And also, if you do want any of the slides or information from this presentation, you should email your contact information to info@bcwinaction.ca, and then we can send you over the slides. Yeah, so that wraps it up. We look forward to the next one, and we want to just give a big thank you to all of our presenters today for all the helpful information. And also want to thank the attendees. Like, most of you guys stayed with us till the end, so that shows that there's a need and you guys appreciated this. So we also appreciate you, and that encourages us to keep working hard to give you guys good content. So thank you so much for making our afternoon. So I'm just going to hand it over to Jeanne if she has any further things to add before we sign out.
Nothing to add. It was a very good webinar. We'll see for the next one. Thank you all for coming.